Please allow me to welcome you all to this policy roundtable organized by Business Day. We brought you all here today to spotlight the overlooked potential of tax incentives as catalysts for sustainable development.
Business Day Media hosted a policy intervention roundtable on harnessing tax incentives for growth in Nigeria's priority sectors. The conference united legal experts, tax authorities, policymakers, and industry leaders to discuss effective structuring and alignment of tax incentives with Nigeria's economic goals. The publisher of Business Day, Mr. Frank Ibogun, delivered a welcome address speaking to the theme of the occasion.
One thing that excites me about where we are is that this is the first time in Nigeria that we have had a national conversation around taxation. The very first time. You might say it's late, but as they say, better late than never.
As the event proceeded, the keynote address was delivered by Mr. Taiwo Uyedele, chairman of the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms Committee, who made emphasis on the tax reforms and spoke about the Economic Development Initiative Scheme.
You could count on one finger, fingertips of one hand, the issues that have been mostly debated. And I always like to remind people that we're talking about a transformative reform where we've taken more than 15 different tax laws and compressed them into 4. They have over 400 pages, more than 200 provisions. Many of them are new. So it's important that we pay attention to those very important changes because they will affect us. And the other point is there are loads of opportunities that will be presented by those changes. But you will not be able to take advantage of the opportunities if you are not prepared for them, or worse still, if you are not even aware of them.
The conference featured an informative panel session with an array of reputable speakers.
Looking at the bill as it is, it's quite simple. And, I was talking about the provisions of probably I've not read it very well, but, you will know the name of a child more than the man who has named the child. And so I would defer to Mr. Taiwo. But I've looked at the provisions of, or the provision of the tax bill in relation to that priority incentive. And I see a provision that says that it is subject to the provision, I think about section 58 that talks about the effective tax rate. But be that as it may, it is clear that no matter how stylish the legislators may have drafted a law, there will still be need for improvement. By the time this bill is being implemented, you will start seeing issues.
We have some incentives in our tax system today, like the reconstruction investment incentive was meant to be after the Civil War to reconstruct Nigeria. So we're not the most diligent lawmaking, policy formulating nation in the world. Once you discuss it and debate it, you can leave it for another. So we saw some of the things we saw was in the oil and gas sector, where we lost, and I mean literally billions of dollars, because somebody didn't know that oil price was going to hit $20 per barrel, $20 per barrel. And there was supposed to be a trigger of revision when it hits $20 per barrel. And oil hit 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. We did nothing, absolutely nothing. We lost more than $10 billion. So we think that it's better to put a sunset. By the time you are getting close to that sunset, if we agree that this sector is still a priority, it takes less effort. Because at that point in time, those who want it to be priority will put the pressure to get the amendment done. Whereas if it's no longer priority and there's no sunset, everybody will continue to just enjoy it. And then we say tax revenue is going down, we'll start printing naira again. So that was the thinking behind the way it's been designed. And like I said, the powers to do that is with Mr. President.
The roundtable was able to address public perception to taxes and strategies being set up to spread awareness about tax bills and incentives for the grassroots. Some of the speakers and attendees present also shared key insights gained from the event.
And I think, we can't control what other countries do. So the responsibility we have as a country is to always look at how our policies and the policies of other countries interact and look for areas of opportunities for our country. And if there are risks, how can those risks be managed? We already know that the bulk of what we export to the US is crude oil, refined products, gas, and those are exempted. So whatever impact we have that is direct is currently being looked into by the government. And the ones that are indirect impacts, including the price of oil and all of that, are also being currently analyzed. So I won't be able to give you any more specifics than that. But as a country, those are issues that are under consideration.
So the major takeaway for me is that times will definitely change and change again. We are in the regime of the new tax bill, which may be signed to law in the next few weeks, few months. And as such, businesses must brace up to these realities. They must recheck their workings and ensure that their businesses are being managed such that they get the best of these bills and the laws as it may at that point in time.
In closing, the deputy editor of Business Day, Ololade Akimurele, reflected on the theme and conversations from the conference, thanking all panelists and guests for their presence.
Thank you so much for taking our time to join us here today. I hope you enjoyed the conversations that we had this morning. And I imagine that we'll be leaving here with the full knowledge that the tax reform bills is much more than just VAT sharing formula or arrangement amongst the states. It was really exciting for me, and I'm sure it was the same for you. So I just want to say thank you so much for joining us this morning. Thank you so much to our partners as well, Onaliwun Ajayi. I do hope to see you next time we call on you to be here. Thank you so much.